Well, good morning, I guess good afternoon, good evening, whenever you're listening to this. It is yet another episode of Four Doors and GT4s. I'm Stu, joined as always by Mr. Aaron Pfeiffer at Pfeiffer TCR. Aaron, how's it going on this fine Thursday evening?
It's going good. I like doing these on Thursday. We're a day away from the weekend, and almost a week and a few hours away from being on track. So yeah, I like it.
True. Road America is right around the corner. I suppose that's one of the reasons why we're doing this episode. And I was thinking about this earlier. It seems like usually it's you that has a storm rolling through the area and maybe endangering an internet connection or something. But tonight we have a storm going through, so I
Ooh.
hear the thunder roaring outside. I'm probably not going to pick that up on the microphone, but if I just vanish all of a sudden, then I haven't been abducted by aliens or anything like that. It's well, maybe, but it's just the internet probably going out. So hope, fingers crossed, we can make it through the show and that doesn't happen. But
Well, I added my personal hotspot back to my cell phone plan just in case. So I mean, I'll
a
probably have it.
man of the people.
Yeah, I mean that's another $10 a month, guys. So that's dedication. Yeah.
Oh
No,
man.
so Mark Wilkins is flying to Road America tonight he's doing Grid Life this weekend with Denny and Mason, and they're doing hot laps in one of our race cars and a couple street cars. And I saw Mark post a picture of him at the Toronto airport while lightning was striking the tower. So yeah, looks like a rough night for flying out of Toronto as well.
Yeah, it's not a night that you would necessarily want to be flying. So best of luck to Mark getting out this evening. Just might be a little bit delayed. Um, but that's Road America. Before we get too far ahead of ourselves, we had a race. Was it a week and a half ago now at a Canadian Tire Motorsport Park, aka Mosports, the what was it called? The Canadian Tire Motorsport Park 120 for the Michelin Pilot Challenge. There was also some support series racing that we'll touch on the results of that in a moment. But an interesting weekend, I think. I guess you could say overall, it was difficult weather conditions. Very hot on the Saturday of the Michelin Pilot Challenge race. Extremely hot, actually, and it led to it led to a hectic end to the race. I guess you could say that. But what were your thoughts? It's always interesting for me to hear, being a Toronto local, what your thoughts are of the weekend as a whole. So before we, I guess, jump into the actual on track action, what were your thoughts on the race weekend? Wow, what a way to word that.
Well, so for that must be a really hot day for Ontario, because for someone from South Carolina, I was like, this is a pretty nice day for July. I didn't start sweating like through my underwear until at least like 10 in the morning. So it was pretty mild to me, honestly. No, I thought the weekend was great. Golly, like the amount of campers and fans that are there, as soon as the weekend starts, is just always super impressive to me. Friday morning, they're already parking like in the lot where we park. I mean, that the whole
Yep.
place was already jammed up. So yeah, the crowd was awesome as always. I realize that is, I mean, you guys really have your two flagship motorsports weekends back to back there with us in IndyCar. But yeah, the fan turnout was great. The fan walk was great. And yeah, I mean, every time I go to CTMP, I like it more and more. I think it's a great track, and it gives me like Road America vibes as far as like educated, knowledgeable fans who really are there to see the racing. You go to some places. I'm not gonna say any names, Sebring, but they people are just there to drink beer and stuff like that. But you have a lot of educated motorsports fans at CTMP, which I really like.
Yeah, it's a lot of racing up in I guess this part of Canada, and as you go a little bit further east as well into Quebec, lots of local grassroots motorsports, and yeah, I think could definitely echo that. Even through the not flagship weekends, I guess you could say, like when the NASCAR Canada Series they make a couple of trips to CTMP every summer, and even those weekends, it's jam packed. Just a little bit less maybe than the IMSA weekend, but you still hear about fans traveling sort of across the country to come in for the race weekend. So cool to hear all those stories, and yeah, from what I could see, I was at the track on Thursday evening even. And I looked around at just the sheer number of campers that were already loaded in. It was pretty impressive to see. A big turnout like that once again. So, good job to all the local Torontonians
Yeah, I
and
don't think you have
beyond.
to worry about that race going anywhere. That's a
Yeah.
very very well attended event. I mean,
Well, we've
it blows
already.
the Indy attendance out of the water for sure.
Yeah. I mean, you've seen you probably, well, maybe you haven't noticed, but there's on every single IMSA post anywhere, there's always going to be some fan in the comments that's saying bring GTPs back to CTMP, and I can only imagine the uproar if the Canadians might declare war on IMSA if they took the full race away. So, um, yeah, a good,
Trump's waiting for that.
yeah, a good weekend overall at CTMP, and glad you could enjoy it. Although unfortunately there wasn't a beaver tail stand for you
No,
to
no, but I did get some killer soft serve ice cream out of a food truck
from
on Friday
Heavenly
afternoon.
Dreams or something.
I don't remember what it was, but
Yeah.
I walked all the way over there because we're in the paddock of shame, and yeah, walked all the way up there and got some ice cream on Friday afternoon. It was well worth the walk.
Yeah, that's a solid ice cream. I wish you could have had a beaver tail though. Actually, Sam Baker sent me. He's at another. Actually, the NASCAR Canada Series is in a track. It's about 3 hours away from CTMP, I would say, called Calabogie.
Yeah,
You
I've
probably
heard
never
of
heard of it.
Calibogie. Yeah,
Okay, you have heard of it. Okay, so
Nick
the
Nick Lumens used to talk about Calibogie. Yeah,
oh, of course, yes,
yeah.
yes, 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 yes. He's local to there. I forgot that
They
you
had crazy tire dag, is what everybody's always told me. Yeah.
Well, the Canada cars, the NASCAR Canada cars are going to experience that, I suppose, this weekend. But Sam's up there, and they have a beaver tail truck, and I got a photo of that beaver
Darn.
tail truck. So,
Yeah.
no, you wanted to pass that along. Wrong race for you to come to Canada for. You should have waited a couple extra weeks and gone to the other race.
Yeah.
Okay, on track action. Enough food, ice cream talk before I get too hungry here. The Canadian Tire Motorsport Park 120. Talk about that race. We were talking a little bit before we went live here, and we were kind of like, what happened really in this race other than a very big moment that happened at the end? It was not. There was racing that was going on, but not too many super memorable moments exactly.
Yeah, I mean, for us, for our weekend, I mean, Friday was pretty straightforward for us and had a big gap between FP1 and FP2. So, I thought we rolled off the truck with pretty decent speed. And then we go into this 8 a.m. Saturday morning qualifying, which is one of my favorites, to get up at be at the track at 6 in the morning. So you get up at 5 in the morning at least, and then you have to pack the whole thing up at the end of the day. And then for us, we drove all the way back to Buffalo. So yeah, it makes
Oof,
a
a
nice
long
like
day.
16, 17-hour day. But yeah, Preston, we was having trouble kind of stringing the lap together in practice, and I was a little concerned. I mean, I like I've said before, and he would tell you this is weakest track, but and then we had an issue where with some brake rotor issues as well. So we actually sent him out there and he had to bed the brakes at the start of the session. So we didn't put him in a good position. And he goes down there and lays down a flyer over half a second faster than he went year before. So yeah, we rolled off P8 and we're feeling or P7, I can't even remember now. P7, P8, somewhere in there. And we're feeling pretty good
P8.
about it. P8, yeah. Well, we slid up to P7 because the 99 car pulls off on the recon lap. So yeah, so
Okay.
fast forward to the race. Yeah, so that's kind of the only. Well, it is a little interesting on the start because the 99. So he peels off, has some issue, and give credit to Eric and them. I mean, they end up coming back finishing P2 after all this, but IMSA will say on the radio if they can have their spot back or not. And it was on the second recon lap, so he can't get his spot back. And so they tell everybody, everybody's supposed to slide over a position, right? Well, we did, and I think the car behind us did, but then the other cars didn't. And I was fully expecting for the first 10 minutes of the race for the start to be under review because I've
Yeah.
seen them penalize people for not doing that before, but never saw us start on a review there. So that was kind of just an interesting thing for me. But yeah, the race is kind of just a follow the leader type thing. And just as we had predicted when we were talking to Sam before, I mean, the GS traffic just instantly is a problem, right? And
Yeah.
so, and for us, it was like the third race in a row where we get past a few GS cars and we get stuck on one that decides that, even though he's a minute off the pace, that he's going to race us like his life depends on it. So we get past this Porsche at one point, and then he gets back past us a few laps later, and then he's racing Preston like super aggressive. And Preston's like, I'm not wrecking the car over passing this guy. So really, we would be stuck behind that Porsche for the next like 20 minutes until he would box at the 40-minute mark when their pits came open. And so we're kind of in our own little battle there where, I mean, the Audis just had that's a funny post to ever say that. It wasn't 10 though, I promise. We passed 10. It was I mean, I'll tell you who it was. It was that Porsche from Oregon.
AR?
No, whatever. Yeah, AR. Yeah. Anyway, so but anyway, the Audis had great speed, and so we end up having the 37 car and the 10 car kind of chasing us down there. And Eric was driving really well in the 10 car. He ends up spinning when he's right behind us, and then it would kind of be us in the 37 car riding around there, and then she would actually get past us right there before the stop. But tire dag was just, a big thing for everybody, right? Like you saw, I mean, even with everyone trying to manage the stint, you saw the tire problems happening, right? So the 93 car, they stop early because they're having tire issues. Somebody in that lead pack of 4 cars had corded their tire so long that it was like a snake that ended up getting hooked on the 33 car, and they drag it around for like the last 5 laps before they box. And I think it came off the 93, but anyway, so everybody was having tire dag issues in TCR. It looked like maybe not the Audis as much, but so we kind of get to our number and pull Preston in, and as you're when you're with these guys all the time and you're talking to them on the radio and know them very well, I could tell Preston was getting really tired towards the end of that stint. Right, it's super hot. And that track is just kind of relentless as far as a driver, right? I mean, you get a few seconds to breathe on the back straight. And other than that, you're thrashing in the car, going up and down hills, turning left and right for the entire rest of the lap. And for him, he's battling, trying to keep the car behind him on the back straight every single lap. So he literally gets, no break. So I could tell he was tired, and he says the tires are falling off. And, you can see it a little bit in the pace, and you can see everybody's tires must have been falling off because the pace is really starting to back up. So, everybody stops there just a touch before an hour. And then it was kind of, we were riding around. We were trying to, we were fighting with the 56 car. That was really the only car that was around us. So we jumped the 37 Audi by a lot in the pits. And the 56 car had a drive-through for, I think Dean had contact with somebody. So we're like 4 seconds behind the 56 car. And at that point, I told Dennis, let's just ride around, save the tire, and hope for a yellow and keep the 56 car in check. And that's what we did until the big one happened. So yeah, the first probably 80 minutes of that race was everybody's just kind of going through their playbook, and like we talked about too, like for being such a demanding track, you just don't get the yellows out of CTMP and Pilot for whatever reason.
Yeah.
WeatherTech was a freaking caution fest, but
Yeah.
again, we only had one yellow, just like the last 4 or 5 year average in Pilot Challenge. But the yellow we did get obviously was a pretty big one.
Yeah, pretty big wreck there. What was that in the last and 20 or so minutes of the race? That had to be a little bit longer than that,
No,
right?
I want to say it was 40 minutes because
Yeah, because it was long.
we went back and
Um, yeah, it
uh,
was with
yeah, an
40-ish,
hour,
45.
yeah, like 42 minutes, yeah.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, so right, kind of in the final hour, not quite on the hour mark, so it didn't turn into any sort of fuel mileage question really at that point. But yeah, big accidents going up the back straightaway. We've seen some bad wrecks at the end of the back straightaway or the Mario Andretti straightaway, I guess, at CTMP in recent years, especially in the WeatherTech Championship. But yeah, a big wreck up the back straightaway, just kind of traffic. It's called the Mario Andretti straightaway, but there are some small kinks as you go along, and just
And you're
seemed like,
you're constantly going up hills that
yeah.
plateau as well there on that back straight. Yeah, it's like three plateaus of hills as you go up it. Yeah.
Yeah, the broadcast doesn't do it justice, just how big some of those hills are, and how in some spots, you can see it you can see when you're cresting the hill, but it can be difficult to see if there's something on track up ahead. And um, so we've seen some big accidents like this, but this was a big accident. There was the Turner Motorsports BMW was involved in that, got a lot of damage. The 52 Baker Racing Audi, who was in the hunt for a podium at the time, they were caught up in that as well. And it was,
In the hunt for the win, really, because I mean
yeah, true.
Sam had been driving at the front of the field for a lot of the opening stint. Yeah.
That's a good point. Yeah, they were very, very quick all weekend long. And then there was your sister car, the 33 Brian Hurt Autosport Elantra was caught up in that as well. There were some
And
other
the
cars.
71 would also get taken out by it. Yeah.
Okay, yes, yeah.
Lundell would end up driving it to the end of the straight, but yeah.
Yes, that's right. I remember seeing him parking it at the end of the back straightaway. So took out a lot of a lot of good cars in this. In GS, you take out Turner Motorsport and their BMW. We'll talk about the results in GS, but BMW is very, very strong
Mhm.
here this weekend. So you had to think that I can't remember where they were running at the time, but Turner Motorsport always strong. The Rebel Rock Aston Martin also, especially when you get Robin in the car, is always a threat. So some good cars taken out of contention there in
Right, yeah, rear
GS.
bumper. Yeah, no, yeah, the 33 and the 52 were fighting for second, I believe at the
Yeah.
time.
Okay.
So yeah, it was definitely front runners in TCR. Yeah, it's one of those scary ones, right?
Yeah.
I'm looking down at my timing screen, and Preston screams, "Oh shit," or something like that. And you look up and it's just a pile of dust. It's instantly full course yellow. Dennis is, you know, 10 seconds behind it, or no, he's probably 25 seconds or 20 seconds behind it or something. But I'm screaming, you're gonna have to come to a stop on the back straight. We can't even see what it is. And then when the dust settles, you see it's one of your sister cars. I instantly sent one of our crew guys down to the 33 box to see if they were okay. Then you hear race control say that 52 drivers out of the car and 95 drivers out of the car or whatever. But yeah, I mean, I guess we're really averaging like one a year, right? Where you're like, wow, that was a scary one, and it makes everyone on pit lane
Yeah.
take pause for a second. I mean, last year you had it with the
Mid
Carbon
Ohio.
BMW crash at Mid Ohio. Then you had the kink crash in in 23
Yeah.
with Roadchagger, or 22, one of those in the kink.
Yeah.
Yeah, I won't say that one was 22 actually, but yeah. So I mean, I hate it for everybody involved. Obviously, just not a situation anybody wanted to be in. And three wide there on a narrow track. Like I believe you mentioned that in the show previous, that it's a narrow track, and three
Yeah.
wide there, and it's kinking, and yeah, scary. Glad everyone walked away okay. I mean, the 52 car. I mean, there's no great camera angle of it, but it's definitely
No.
in the air
Yep.
for a while, and we were probably the fourth car to drive through it. And there was I mean, first of all, you have to come to a stop even to get through it, because you had the BMW on one side and the two TCRs on the other side. And we got so much pickup on our tires, Dennis thought we had punctures. That's
Yeah.
how much stuff was on the road. And so yeah, shout out to the safety crew for being there quickly. And yeah, glad everybody was okay. But yeah, a scary one, not anything you want to see, but that is motorsports, right?
Yeah. And you kind of alluded to it there. Like, after this crash, after the crash at in Ohio last year, I believe that James, who was in the 52 at the time, I think he might have gone to the hospital for a bit, but was later released. I mean, if that's the extent of what we're talking about with some of these huge hits like this, then it's good to see the safety of the cars, and that they truly are safe for the drivers, and for everybody involved in this case, the track workers as well. Like, nobody was seriously hurt. There was definitely a flag stand that was very close to that accident as well, so good
Yeah,
to
very, very close to that accident, and that those guys don't get enough credit for
yeah.
how some of the dangerous spots they're in. You saw it happen last weekend at VIR,
Yeah.
where a marshal was hurt in that big McLaren wreck on Friday. That I wasn't there at VIR last weekend, but I was told it paused the track for over 3 hours
Yep.
to repair the walls and stuff like that, and so yeah, scary stuff. I'll give a shout out to NBC's camera operator. That camera on the back straight is a little remote controlled camera, and it's not a man-made camera. So somebody's sitting there on a joystick watching it, and he panned perfectly with it. I was impressed by the camera work. I was told that made me a nerd, but yeah, I was like, wow, that's hard to do. I'm always impressed by those guys. They're doing it by joystick on the in-car cameras too, but yeah, but that would really throw a whole wrench in everyone's race, right? So,
Yeah.
for the GS guys, it really caught some people out, like RS1, right? Because they weren't going to make it on one stop. So, RS1 did what it did last year at Road America, for instance, where they were like the first one to stop and make sure they could get there to the end and cover themselves. But when you have this long of a caution, I mean, we had 23-minute long yellow. It basically made it where everybody who hadn't stopped in GS was going to make it till the end. TCR, it was tight on fuel for a ton of people as well. And it made it so, you weren't even thinking about fuel at that point. So, yeah, it was a long cleanup. I honestly didn't think it was going to go back green at one
Yeah.
point. But, we couldn't even do class splits or pass arounds or anything for the first 10, 12 minutes of that, because of there's nowhere, both sides of the track were jammed up. So once you get through the procedures, it happened before 30 minutes to go. So we had to open the pits for everybody. So kind of reset the race for a 17-minute shootout there at the end.
Yeah. And a shootout it was. I mean, when for the position that you were in, I know you said, you kind of got caught behind traffic that first part. You were kind of just hoping for that full course yellow. Once you know that everybody is generally speaking okay after that wreck, and you're going back to racing, like, what's the mindset switch for you, and what are you focusing on with your driver when you know that you're going to be going back to green for a quick shootout at the end?
Yeah, I mean, your mindset's got to change pretty quickly, right? I mean, everyone was okay, and then I mean, I'm talking to Dennis nonstop about what we're going to do for the end of the race, and resetting the field for him and what's ahead of him and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I mean, honestly, for us, that's kind of what we need, right? We need a yellow. But the Hyundais in general, we were struggling with straight line speed versus the Hondas and Audis. So we knew it was going to be an uphill battle. And but we really hadn't gotten to go like door to door with anybody all week. And you don't get to do that in practice. And
Yeah.
so, I was honestly pretty hopeful because we had been in this position last year at CTMP about sixth, and Dennis worked his way up to third, and basically we were doing the same thing, right? We were right around saving the tire and so on. So I was pretty hopeful about it until we would get going, and for us, it would become apparent that we just didn't have the straight line speed. Not so much just like a BOP thing or whatever, but just even to other Hyundais, like we had
Yeah.
something slightly off for us, which we had to go find post race and work on. But I mean, it was apparent, like, no offense to anybody that was behind Dennis, but the people that were staying behind Dennis are people we normally have pulled away from all season, and we could not stay with the 56 car when he wasn't messing up. Now he drives off the track, we get by him, he passes right back the next lap. I mean, we couldn't even put up a fight. So, at that point, it was kind of like, okay, I hope we can hold on to fifth. We got up to fourth there for a second. We were excited, and then it slipped back. So, yeah, it became apparent very quickly once it went back green, for us at least, that it was kind of a damage limitation mode. But for the championship, it really kind of shook up because, the 98 car was in P2 when we're going back to the green, and he actually gets run into by the 99 car under yellow on the last lap of the yellow and has a puncture from that. So that ends up, he comes into pit lane, and so then it's like, okay, well, that's one of the cars we're fighting in the championship, so we're in front of them. So that day gets a little better for us, but still the 93 is winning, and that's another car we're fighting the championship for. So every spot counts. But yeah, it would kind of just be one of those disappointing ends, really, because I love those ends for us. I mean, that's kind of where we thrive. So for it to shake out to be like, oh, we can't, we're not even in the fight, really, it was a little disappointing. But all in all, to finish fifth there after the way it was starting, where it looked like we were going to finish eighth at best, not a bad day.
Yeah, gotta take those where you can get them, and carry on to Road America. But before we get to Road America, just running down the end results here. It was the 93 Montreal Motorsport Group Honda of Carl Whitmer and LP Montour that picked up the win in TCR. A home win for both of those drivers. Both of them being from Canada. The Victor Gonzalez Racing number 99 ended up finishing second, with the number 7 Precision Racing LA Audi getting, I believe this is their first podium of the season, if I'm not mistaken.
They got third at Daytona.
Oh, okay. So the second podium of the season, but it's definitely felt like they've they've had some bad luck over the course of the season. Feels like they've been in the running for more podiums than just those two, but bring home a solid podium finish for them. The 56 Baker Racing Audi, and then your 76 Hyundai rounded out the top 5. Meanwhile,
I want to give a shout out to the Rockwellson 6 too.
Okay.
Bruno, I think that's only his third ever IMSA race. Drove really well. Him and Swilio were in quite a battle right behind us. So yeah, good for those guys. And we talked about Audi reliability issues before coming into the event, and you really saw none of them. So maybe they should have brought that guy from Germany over a long time ago. Maybe he waved some magic over all those cars and fixed them. But yeah, I mean, you want to talk about like hot streaks, it's like, okay, so it was kind of we started on one, right? You go first, and then we have Sebring, but then we go first and second again. Then the 98 car goes on its hot streak with a first, a second at Laguna. in between there, and then a podium still at Watkins, and now you have the 93 car go third, first. So, and obviously those are the three cars that are at the top of the championship right now. But it's kind of those are the only three cars that have won any races so far this year as well.
You can't forget about the 99 as well. Back-to-back second place finishes for them.
No,
It's
I will talk about it in a second. They said the
that's
car,
true.
and we'll talk about the things they've done. But yeah, I mean, yeah, they had been struggling to find a podium for since VIR last year, and they get two back-to-back seconds. One of them was by a DQ, but slid them up a spot. But still, yeah, I mean, they were the top finishing Hyundai the last two races, and I'll let you get to GS in a second, I promise. But just, I mean, a side note that Josh, who runs the IMSA Michelin Pilot Challenge Tech tent, I saw him walk into his car after the race when we were almost done packing up, and he says, I've been in Pilot Challenge over 3 years. He said, I think this is the first time I've ever not had a Brian Herta Autosport car in impound post-race. So, yeah, definitely a weekend to forget for us as a team. But, yeah, just interesting how it's kind of streaky, right? And now which one of these three cars can go on another hot streak, right, to kind of cement their lead, because we'll talk about it in a second, but the 93 car is right here in the championship. Like, they're not going away at all.
Yeah, we'll talk about that close championship hunt here in just a second, after we talk about the GS results. And there was the 39 Carbon with Peregrine Racing BMW of Stephen McAleer and Jeff Westphal that took the win. The number 27 Auto Technic BMW came home in second, with the number 19 Stephen Cameron Racing Ford Mustang rounding out the podium. 96 Turner BMW in fourth, and then rounding out the top five, another Ford Mustang, kind of a BMW and Ford show up here, with the 13 McCumbee McAleer Racing Ford rounding out the top five there. I don't know if I really
BMW needing to get together, and then the 39 crew has definitely done that the last couple of events here, and nice to see Auto Technica up there as well. And actually, that whole top five is nice to see, and you really see. I mean, if you take away the great display from RS1 this year, you see a lot of different guys getting on that podium in GS so far this season.
Yeah, GS definitely has given us a wide variety of podium finishers, and I guess we can jump in now to touch on the point standing. Since we were just talking about GS, let's just roll through with the GS class, and it is still RS1 that's leading the way here with 1,860 points. It's still a 260 point gap back to Peregrine or Carbon with Peregrine, who won this race. They have 1,600 points. McCumbee McAleer in the 13 Ford has 1,560. So we're starting to see some big gaps emerge there. But apart from RS1 still very has a very commanding lead there, despite them not having the best result here at CTMP, and they walked away with what, like a 7th or 8th? No, it was a 9th place finish for them after that late full course yellow. So still a glimmer of hope, I guess you could say, for these other teams. With 260 points with 4 races to go, is there's some proper work still to be done there.
But in GS, I mean, you saw it with. I mean, you saw it with Ibiza Farms, right? I mean, they got 90 points at Laguna. So, I mean, you can have huge point swing days in that championship with that car count. So, yeah, I mean, they were running away with it till this one, but yeah, had 130 points cut out of their lead. So, yeah, it's always nice when you're chasing them to get the win. That's how you maximize the points.
That's a good point. Yeah, we'll talk about just how many entries will be on the list at Road America shortly, after we talk about the TCR Championship. So it is now a tie at the top between two Brian Herta Autosport Hyundais. The 98 and your 76 are tied with 1,780 points. That is 110 points ahead of the Montreal Motorsport Group Honda, who, as you've alluded to, has come back very strong after a couple of unfortunate results to start the season, but now 4 podiums, including 2 wins to their name. This year, the 99 Victor Gonzalez 99 Victor Gonzalez Hyundai and the 7 Precision Racing Audi are tied for 4th. So with 1,510 points. So yeah, as you were alluding to, the top 3 separated by 110 points. It's of course a tie for the championship lead heading into Road America. 4 races to go. It's shaping up to be a barn burner here in the TCR Championship.
Do you want to know how much of a tie it is? That would be the 98 would be beating us on the 4th tiebreaker right now, actually, and they're doing that off of a disqualification from one of the races, getting them into one of those tiebreakers. So that's how tight it is at the top. I'll give you one more. How many points do you think we had on the 76 car after 6 rounds last year?
Oh, well, I know it wasn't 1,780, was it?
It was 1,780. Yes.
Oh,
yeah. So literally, we are doing exactly what we did last year, just gone about it a slightly different way.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's which also just shows you how dominant the 17 car was last year, right? Because
no kidding.
We were leaving CTMP still 140 points down, I think, even after they had broken in this race. But yeah, so like I've said many times, race 7 was where it fell apart for us last year. So we got to go finish the job here these last 4 races. But yeah, I just thought that was an interesting note that 1,780 points, exactly where we were last year. But yeah, for sure, MMG. I mean, if they don't break at Daytona and Laguna Seca, I mean, they're probably ahead of us in the points, honestly. So yeah, very, very good stuff from those guys as well. And I mean, VGRT and the 7 car, aren't that crazy far behind either. So still a ton to play for with 4 rounds to go in both championships.
And especially what you were kind of, you kind of alluded to it for the GS cars. How large of a grid that can be. We were talking, lots of races last year. We're talking entries in more of what, the 11-ish car range were we at last
we
year?
definitely went through a streak of like 11 to 12 for a lot of the back half of the race season for us. Yeah.
And we're looking at, CTMP, this last round. I mean, 14 cars showed up for the weekend, right? There was the second Victor Gonzalez car that showed up this weekend.
Yeah, and they would withdraw right before. We can talk about all that stuff in a second, but yeah, they would end up qualifying but not running the race. Yeah.
Okay. So we showed up with 14 cars expecting to run. We're going to have another healthy grid here at Road America in a week and a half's time. So one bad weekend can definitely bring these cars like that Victor Gonzalez 99 right into the mix here. So lots to watch for still here in the TCR class, especially as the season winds down, but also in the GS class. If RS1 stumbles at some point, then it's a question of who's going to be able to try and step up and capitalize on that prior to the end of the season. So Road America. Let's talk about.
Let's talk about the news that happened.
Okay.
CTMP to Road America. Okay.
All right.
Just
trying to get ahead of myself here.
I heard about it right before. Like right when I got to the track. Obviously the news was going to break the next day, but so talking about entry lists and cars, right? So the GOO car has been running the Cupra this year. They ran the Audi last year. If you don't know, the Audi and the Cupra are basically the same car minus the body, right? And so they're the sole car running the Cupra. They get second place at Watkins. So they've only run it 4 races because they've taken 2 races off. And we get word that Victor Gonzalez is going to switch manufacturers starting the next race, right? So that would be the third time he's switched manufacturers in the last 20 races, because he switched away from Honda after CTMP in 2023 to Hyundai. So yeah, that was big news. And then you saw the 18 car not start, and so the 18 car is obviously going to stick with Hyundai. So if you look at the entry list here now, you see a couple big things that stick out to you, which obviously one is VGRT running the Cupra, and you now have two Cupras in there with Goo and VGRT. And then you have the 18 car being welcomed into the Brian Herta Autosport stable. So we will be bringing 5 cars to Road America. So it's been quite the lift for everybody at the team. Not me, I just work there on the weekends. But I mean, Phil, our team manager, had to go hire a whole nother crew, right? And then the logistics of all of it, and then Andrew and others have been wrenching on the 18 car since it got there, prepping it for the weekend. So
I think Andrew's gotten a little bit nutty.
yeah, so so a couple big changes. Come by and see how we shove 5 cars under our tent. You'll see. But yeah,
It's already tight enough under there.
it's already tight. So, but the team obviously has done it before, right? They ran 6 cars back in 2022.
It wasn't that long ago.
Yeah, so definitely different, but an exciting challenge for us. And of course, well, it's our goal to keep as many Hyundais on the track as possible. We are the people who support all the customer teams as well, and sometimes customer teams become your teams midway through the season, as is the case here. And if you don't know, the rule in Pilot Challenge and in WeatherTech is you can change car manufacturers one time per season and still keep your car number and keep all your points and everything. So even though the 99 car, for instance, is fighting, and tied for 4th right now in the points championship, they don't have to restart their points or anything like this. They can actually continue. And but you have seen it before, like people enter cars under a new number and all that stuff, but you don't have to do that here.
Turner Motorsports doing that a few years ago, I think.
Yeah,
may have
well,
triggered this rule.
I think they made this rule because of Eric Rockwell, because we kept switching Audi from the DSG to the sequential to the DSG, and eventually they said you can only make one switch a year, which technically that was like a different car switch at that point when you had those 2 different cars with 2 different BOPs. So yeah, so that was the big news, right? The only other news from kind of our paddock, I would say, and not even really in our paddock anymore, was you saw today that S's Racing is closing up shop after 6 years. That was a car you saw run in Pilot Challenge a couple of years ago, but haven't seen them on track much in a while. I believe their owner / team manager went to go work for Juncos Hollinger in IndyCar as like one of their main guys. So I think he's kind of taking his focus to Indianapolis with that stuff. But yeah, so here we go. All right, so you got 6 Hyundais still, but now you got 2 Cupras, you got 3 Hondas this weekend, with Hart being back to join the 5 car and the 93 car, and then the other thing you're not seeing on here, right, is the Baker cars, unfortunately. Yeah. So I haven't been able to talk to Sam about it or anything yet, but
I did.
Okay, so you tell us.
Yeah, heard from spoke to Sam the other day, and yeah, unfortunately they were going to be getting another car in. They were getting it from Road Shagger, and the car did make it to town earlier this week, but just not enough time to be able to get it prepared prior to the truck having to head out for Road America. So they will be sitting out the Road America event, but all plans are, full steam ahead for VIR after missing Road America. So, and hopefully, and it should be with two cars for VIR. So,
Okay.
hoping,
Just a
yeah,
question: why they wouldn't bring the 56 car to run for the 52 car this
it's
weekend?
it's a good, reasonable question.
Yeah.
And I do not know the answer to
I got to say that honestly, until I just read that right now, I did not notice that the 52 car wasn't on the entry list. So shame on me, but I literally just noticed it as I was looking at the car numbers. So yeah, I hate to see that. I know that a lot of corners of that car were tore up. A lot of corners of
Yeah.
the 98 car were torn up as well. So well, someone almost beat the Alpha last year, Andrew. Sorry, I'm reading the chat.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah. So anyway, I guess that's all of our news
Well,
for
there's one
yeah.
other thing that I just noticed on the entry list here, and I think this is an interesting driver to see join the TCR ranks. In the 31 Speed Syndicate Audi, you have Jaden Conwright that's joining there. He's a driver that I believe that he won the IMSA Diverse Driver Scholarship a few years back. Raced a bit in the WeatherTech Championship. Raced for a season, I believe, in a Lamborghini, and has been doing some time in the Super Trofeo series. Really, really talented driver, just looking for kind of to latch on and get some traction for, I guess more of a full-time ride. I guess I would say in one of the premier IMSA championships. So interesting to see Jaden on the grid here
I believe
in
he
that.
was in that. Wasn't he in that car at Watkins too?
If he was, I didn't notice it. So
I'm
it
pretty
is
sure he
possible.
was because I'm pretty sure he was. Yeah, yeah, I'm 99% sure he was, but yeah, no, definitely another name. I mean, getting a lot of interesting names coming through TCR this year, and the 31 car was a car that we didn't see last round at CTMP, along with the 55 car. So good to see those guys coming back. That's an interesting note you drop about Road Shagger, which I guess would mean that's fine. That's the end of Road Shagger. We saw them come. They ran Indy last year, and then we didn't see them again until Morley's home race. And their home race, I guess, I mean, they're based out of Vegas, in Laguna, and not a great showing. And then we haven't seen them since. So, yeah, that's kind of one you hate to lose a car, even though it might not be my favorite car. But yeah, but
Now the
yeah,
car
so
will still be around. Don't worry. The
yeah,
car
Carl's
itself will still be
yeah,
around.
it's got to rebuild the corner of it. I know that. So yeah, 15 entries on the entry list. A little birdie is telling me that it might fall down to 14 though. By the time we get there. But anyway, still a very solid car count in TCR and NGS. We have 23 cars and kind of
Yeah.
the same kind of comers and goers we see coming back. Nothing. The 54 cars back again. That's one that falls on and off. But yeah, solid car count of 38 cars going to. I'll say it. One of the absolute best tracks we go to.
One of the absolute best tracks you go to. You know what? I can agree with that. After experiencing the track firsthand last year, I'll give you that.
And
It
if
is.
you remember on this show last year after Road America, after I cried for a while,
I was gonna say that was a pretty sad show.
that was a sad. I'll talk about it in a second. I rewatched the race today, and yeah, still feel like throwing up. I did demand that they give Road America an endurance race, and they got it. So
They
I'm super excited for those fans and getting what they deserve, which is the big show coming to town next year with the 6 hours.
Yes, yes, an endurance race back at Road America will be a sight to see, and I am blocking that out on the calendar for sure.
Oh, I'm sure your friend's dog is getting married that weekend, and you'll have to be in the wedding.
Yeah, that's true. You know, that's a big thing these days. Dog weddings really get in the way of all of my summer plans.
I know.
Um, let's talk about Road America. Obviously, you know, a huge track, one of, if not the biggest. This might be the longest track that we go
It
to
is.
on the calendar. Bingo, nailed it. So you know, you're going from a high speed, very flowing track like CTMP to a lot more just high speed at Road America. There's still some flowy sections, but definitely top end speed is going to be a big deal here. So, you know, what are the things that you know you're thinking about heading into Road America? Is this another race that we're going to expect to see? You know, big tire dag like we saw at CTMP. What sort of things are you expecting for this upcoming weekend at Road America?
Yeah, with the repave, I don't expect a crazy tire dag. I don't remember seeing that there last year. It is a demanding track on the tires, though. I believe that Firestone says that the hardest an IndyCar tire goes through all year is through the carousel at Road America. It's the biggest test of their tire the whole year, even more than than Indy. So yeah, definitely a demanding track, a track where you know it's unique, right? Because you have three slower corners leading into three long straightaways, right? Which is was like the Alpha was just awesome at that, right? Like coming off a slow corner and accelerating. It was 200 kilos less than the rest of us, and it could gun anybody down, especially coming out of the last turn and going into one, going up the hill. I mean, they could literally just pick you off one at a time, and they did it for four straight years, right? So, and obviously, I mean, I'm going to go ahead and put them as one of my favorites. I know that they haven't had the season they want to at KMW, but obviously that is Tim's track, right? And when you win it four times in a row, I think you got to be respected going into the race. So yeah, it's a compromise track, but to me, I mean, straight line speed, as I was just talking about, is still kind of king there if you want to overtake and not be overtaken. So it's how much straight line speed can you get out of the car? How much compromise can you take in the corners, like the carousel, like turn seven? You know, high commitment corners, and your drivers can withstand it to get that speed you need in the straight. You saw the BOP come out today; it hasn't changed. You know, definitely some cars seem to be quicker in a straight line than others right now. But yeah, so to me, that's what I'm thinking of is how can I get that car off of turn 14 and going as fast as it can, as quickly as it can, and passing somebody into turn one rather than being passed.
It's also a track that that can have you know interesting weather affected as well with it being such a big track. You know, you can get rain down in the carousel and not have anything on the front straight or kind of vice versa. So lots of things to think about at during the Road America weekend. Of course, it's kind of peak summer for Wisconsin.
They had a crazy storm there Thursday of last
Last
year because
year,
I was trying to fly into it, and got
yes,
I got to the hotel like 1:30 a.m. Friday morning after being delayed and delayed for weather from going Charlotte to Milwaukee. So
yep.
yeah, definitely summertime. That I mean, you saw it affect WeatherTech Sunday at CTMP. You saw it affect every day at VIR for SRO this last weekend. So yeah, that's definitely something to think about. But yeah, I mean, the you know definitely one that I've had circled on the calendar since the end of the race last year. I mean, it's no secret what happened. I rewatched it again late this afternoon after I got done with work, and still sucks. But yeah, I always rewatch the races and try to remember what happened. I couldn't quite remember how everything had gone to get us into. I mean, I knew we were in the fuel save, but I couldn't remember what had happened to get us exactly into that spot we did. So yeah, I
Or
mean
full
it's
course yellow right at the halfway mark? Is that what it was?
no, it was full course yellow like at the 35-minute mark, and so everybody
Oh,
stops like right there at 40 minutes, and then it would go back green with like an hour 5 minutes left to go. So
okay.
yeah, and we were about to stop when that second yellow came out, but everyone else already had basically. But yeah, so obviously, it's one I think is a good track for a pro-am lineup, right? It's the longest lap of the year. It's really hard to lose your lap. It's a track that tends to produce yellows. Like last year, for instance, in FP2, there were 5 red flags, and they were all from wrecks.
Mhm.
We didn't even get any running. So like it's a demanding track. It's a track that can get even on this repave can get greasy pretty fast and pretty slick offline in a lot of scary places, right? I mean, you saw Daniel Morad crash in the kink during practice last year. I mean, that's the guy that's Mercedes factory driver. So
Yep.
yeah, it's a high commitment track, and but it's one that I mean, it's where Dennis got his first ever IMSA podium, the only podium he's ever gotten without me. It's the it's the place I first engineered my first ever race in IMSA. So yeah, it's my Jake who's been with me on my crew for 4 years now. It's his home track. So yeah, it's a lot of us want to do well here, and like I said, this is where the fork in the road happened last year, and we want to go the right way down it, not the wrong way.
Yeah, go the right way down and make sure you got that half lap extra fuel in it this year
Oh
and
well,
uh
yeah.
and
Make
ride it to the
makes
finish.
yeah.
Ride
Make
it to the
sure we
finish.
don't skip parts of the rule book and all those things. But yes, anyway, we still. I won't get back into it. I rewatched it and got myself angry again today. But no, I mean honestly though, that race really has motivated me all year. I mean, it's motivated
Good.
me for 350 something days. It definitely humbled me a little bit, which I probably needed. Right? I probably thought I couldn't do anything wrong there for a while, and yeah, I mean, I want to get redemption for it for sure. There are we have a little private YouTube of our in-car videos, and for her to and there's like 5 views on the video of us at the end of the race running out of fuel, and I know all 5 of them are me. I've watched it several times, and honestly, the hardest part of the whole thing is I just like see Dennis's body language in the car when it runs out of gas, and then again when it stops. And to let one of your best friends down off of something that you could have prevented. Yeah, I'm definitely I want some redemption, a shot at redemption for this one.
Well, there you go. Aaron is going to be a man on a mission at Road America. So
I'm always on a mission, though, right?
yeah, I suppose.
Yeah,
On an extra mission, an
yeah,
extra
yeah.
special mission this
More
weekend.
motivation. Yeah,
Yeah, if
and
he,
plus, I mean, to be here fighting for the championship right now. I mean, this
yeah,
is I mean, it's not like after Laguna where you're like, okay, we've had a couple good races here and we're in the front of the championship. I mean, now it's make or break time, and we're
yeah.
getting a lot of pressure from behind from the 93 car. We're getting a lot of pressure from the 98 car. We're trying to put pressure back on those guys. We've kind of been on the back foot the last couple of races, so it's time for us to get back on the offensive again. And you go here, a great track for Dennis, a pretty solid track for us. Maybe not the best track for the Hyundai right now, but that's okay. I think we'll be all right about that. Then we go to VIR, Preston's home track, a track he's got thousands of laps on. And then, after that, Indy, which is a place where we really feel like we should have had a couple really good finishes. We finished 4th there in the 4-hour race, and then had it taken away from us very early last year. And then Road Atlanta, where we got 2nd last year, fighting for the win. So yeah, no reason why we shouldn't feel like we can go win the whole thing at this point. To me, CTMP was the biggest like grenade sitting there that it could blow up on us of things that kind of are in our control. Now it's like, okay, well, let's just go fight it out and see what happens.
Like I said, it's going to be a barn burner right down to the end of the season
I
in
hope not. I hope we just
PCR.
pull away and it gets
No, 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 no,
boring.
no, no.
Yeah. The 98 car can chill. The 93 car can chill. Come on. Harry's already got a championship. Like, leave me alone. That was boring.
If only that's how. If only you could just draw it up that way.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, that's not how it quite works. It is not just the Michelin Pilot Challenge that are going to be joining you in lovely Road America. And honestly, I'm going to say that I'm a little bit salty about this because Road America once again has a full support series paddock. You know, there's 4 support series that are going to be there for the race. And Watkins Glen, I'm not going to let go of this
Which means
too
somebody's gonna have a
easily.
garbage paddock and gonna be in the grass.
Yeah, true. Somebody's
Please don't be pilot challenge.
It's probably going to be Mustang Challenge. Let's
Are
be
they
real.
there?
They were down there last year. Yes, they were, and we'll talk about how many entries are there in a
Okay.
moment.
Yeah,
Um,
I forgot they existed for a second. They were in France, and then yeah. Okay, good.
in addition, in addition to the 38 Michelin Pilot Challenge series entries, we're going to have, oh, it doesn't have the totals here for me, so I'm going to have to do them class by class. We have 9 pro entries in Lamborghini Super Trofeo,
Nice.
9 Pro Am, which is 18,
18.
an 8 Am entries for 26, and then additional 8 LB Cup entries for
Ooh.
34 entries, if my math is correct.
That I also got 34. Yes. So that's a nice field for those guys.
Yeah.
They always get that paddock like going down the damn road towards turn 5. Yep. No, that's when was the last time we saw them
Watkins.
at Watkins? Okay, yeah, very
Yes,
good.
they were there at Watkins Glen, so good to see them back. Actually, I see that Jaden Conwright, who we were just talking about a moment ago, is also going to be competing in that. Of course, there's a fair number of races or drivers here that do double duty with Super Trofeo. Danny Formal will be in the 45 Wayne Taylor Racing Lamborghini winners at CTMP last round out. So yeah, Lamborghini Super Trofeo putting out another good strong field.
No Tyler Gonzalez and Harry Godsacker after they won. They're not in the Rafa car. I see.
Oh,
Um, yeah,
okay.
interesting. And then Wayne Taylor Racing has two TBDs in Pro Am, but yeah, no, that's I mean, I do think it's silly that they have 4 classes, but at least they have like a solid number of cars in all 4 of their classes. So
Yeah.
I mean, you at least got to beat a couple people to get on a podium there. It's not like SRO
Mhm.
GT3 AM class. Um,
Or it's not like the next series that we're gonna talk about, Porsche Carrera Cup, where sometimes that Masters class gets pretty
okay, but we figured that out. We figured out that the F1 they don't pay points for the F1 Masters because look, there's
that's
only 6. There's only 6 of
yeah,
them this weekend, but yeah,
only 6 of them.
yeah.
But still overall there's 31 entries, and really most of the eyes here are going to be on that pro class. Of course, these guys are divided up by age group. So you do get a lot of the younger drivers that are making their way up through the ranks of IMSA's various series here in this pro class. So 18 entries in the pro class. Well over half the field is going to be in that pro division. There are 7 entries in the pro am class, and then in that masters class, as we touched on, 6 entries. So
Is okay, so we had the crazy wreck to start the race of Porsche Carrera Cup Saturday morning at Watkins, and I know that there was actually a couple wrecks, and one of those wrecks was our points leader, Riley Dickinson, who is in the points lead in pro. Do you know?
he is in pro,
No, is he
right?
still in the points lead though, Riley?
Oh, that's a good question. I do not know the answer to that.
Yeah, because I feel like that had to shake it up a lot, but yeah. Um, So I just got a chance to watch the start of that second Porsche Carrera Cup race from basically our paddock spot, right from turn 11 exit, and those Porsche Carrera Cup guys could give a class to everyone in IMSA about how to have a start I mean, the first 12 rows are like all touching each other's bumpers, just perfectly tapping each other down the straightaway. I was very, when they were going into turn one, I was like, that's going to be a mess. All those cars were so close together. I've never seen Pilot Challenge have a start anywhere close to that. Yeah, we've seen some snoozers and some interesting races in Porsche Carrera Cup this year.
Yeah, and Riley Dickinson is still in the points lead there. He has 161 points to Ryan Yardley's 153. And this is F1 scoring, I believe.
Yeah,
On
they
the
have a
point.
different scoring, yeah, than the
It's
rest of IMSA.
definitely more in line with F1 scoring. So
Yeah, it's like 25 or 30 for a win. Yeah.
yeah, 20-25 for a win, but then they have points for fastest lap and pole and
Yeah, so then
all
they get
that
like
jazz.
the
So
next 5 on it too.
yeah, they there's different point system. That's classic sports car racing. We can't just have one point system across all the championships because that would be way too easy for everybody to follow.
Well, and then finally we have bringing up the rear on car count again, Mustang
Uh,
Challenge.
yeah, Mustang Challenge, 19 entries, which I should probably go back and look at what the number of entries was here for these guys last year. But I mean, 19 entries, you know what? To be fair, it stayed consistent across the season, right? But
I think yeah, it's been like 21 to 19. Yeah. Okay,
yeah,
what happened to that other championship that they were supposed to run this year? Like, I haven't heard anything about it or seen anything on
what other
social.
championship are you
There's supposed to
referring
be a second Mustang Challenge championship, like a lower level Mustang that was sanctioned by
Oh,
USAC or something, right?
yeah. That's with a different car though, right? That's with
No, I think it's with this car.
no, I thought there's like another lower level car.
I don't think so. The chat can correct you in a second, but I'm pretty sure it's with this car, and it's. But anyway, I don't know if the car count has gone there or what, but I don't even see like Ford. You know, they normally post a lot on social about the Mustang Challenge. I haven't seen anything about that other championship.
Yeah.
I
Oh, the
don't even,
Mustang Cup is what it's called.
there you go.
The Mustang
But it,
Cup, because they've been to like Ozark, the Circuit of the Ozarks. They went to Circuit of the Americas, not Circuit of the Ozarks. There I am combining Ozarks International Raceway and Circuit of the Americas. Says the Mustang Cup is going to be at Road America in 14 days. So that's after you
it's
guys.
after us, but before SRO. So I don't know what is that weekend. I don't know. But anyway,
Interesting.
maybe that's where some of the car count is going because you split it into two championships. I don't know because it seemed a lot
Yeah.
healthier to start last year. I've seen a couple of them go up for sale online, but yeah, just kind of surprising that for an IMSA series to only be getting 19 cars.
Yeah, I wonder how many entries this Mustang Cup is getting. If they're getting healthy. Oh, they do not have a healthy grid count. They had
Yep.
they had 8 cars at Coda. So
Ooh, yikes.
um yeah, okay. So
No,
it's not pulling away
okay.
a ton of
Well,
those. But
so much for
but
that theory.
regardless, we do have 19 cars in the Mustang Challenge here. There's going to be 9 in the Dark Horse class and 10 in the Dark Horse Legends. There was some series news about this. I noticed that Sam Paley has announced that he'll be back on the grid, I believe, for the remainder of the season in his Paley Motorsports Mustang Dark Horse R. He had been doing. He started the season with, I think it was McCumbee McAleer in their GS class Ford Mustang. So
Oh,
um,
okay.
I believe it was in one of the Mustangs. I think it was McCumbee McAleer. But regardless, going back to the Mustang Challenge, and yeah, I'm sure we'll see. There was actually some good racing I remember in that in those races here last year. So hopefully we'll see the those Mustang Challenge cars put on a good show once again. Um, But yeah, full action packed grid here for Road America. I think that covers sort of all the entry list stuff. We've talked a little
Everybody
bit
has a
about
nice spread
racing.
out schedule except Michelin Pilot Challenge, who has to do everything
Oh
on
no.
Friday. Yes, practice at 8 in the morning, practice again, and then qualify at like 6:30 at night.
So you
Yes,
have 3 sessions on Friday.
yes, and then we don't race till like 2:30 or something on Saturday, so then you don't get to pack up till late. Yeah, we got a crazy schedule, but yeah, five series there at Road America. They definitely have the paddock space for it, although not all paddock is ideal there. They do have the space for it, so yeah, it's the best food of any racetrack if you go to it as well.
Well,
Um,
you didn't have beaver tail at
I
CTMP,
didn't
but
have the beaver tail, yeah. Okay, so I'm going to throw a little trivia question out for you here, Stu.
uh-oh.
So of
Uh-oh.
all the full time TCR entries this year so far in pilot, which
Okay.
there are 11, which will soon drop down to 10 with the 52 car not running a race. Three of them have finished further up the grid than they started in every race. Can you guess those three cars?
I probably can. I'm going to pull up the entry list for this race so I can remember car numbers because I don't
Okay.
necessarily remember all the car numbers. I think that the 37 Precision LA Audi is one.
Oh, I thought you wouldn't get that one. That is, yes, that is one of them.
Okay, that's one of them. Um, I'm gonna I'm gonna go with your 76 as another
Yes,
one.
yes.
Okay, perfect. This last one might be difficult, but who could this last one be? My heart is telling me, well, my heart's not telling me anything. My brain is telling me the 99 maybe?
Oh, the 99 had no, the 99's
Okay.
been finished in the same spot twice and then had two bad races, then two plus races. It is the 9 car.
The
Uh,
9. Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
that's
yes,
true. That's true. I do, I remember always the 9 makes kind of like a mid to late race charge through the field and after a not ideal starting spot. So,
yeah, I
okay.
would say that. Yeah, I mean, Maddie has maybe struggled qualifying in some races, but really strings together the race pretty well
Yeah.
almost every time. And then Suelio really never goes backwards. I mean, for
Yeah.
being his first season in it, I mean, I give him credit where credit's due for sure. I mean, they got a fifth as their and a fourth on the year and a sixth, but yeah, so they're plus 22 spots.
Okay.
I'm impressed at you guessing the 37 car because it honestly surprised me. And shout out to those guys for doing really well. But they are plus 28 spots on the year, and then we are plus 37 spots. But who's counting? Besides me. So yeah, interesting. And then you have some. I mean, you have like some guys at -6, -6, -20, -16,
Ooh.
-27, -14. So, yeah, just a little stat I look at. I mean, obviously, it has a lot to do with how you qualify, but
Yeah.
uh, yeah, if you can finish all 10 races better than you started, then you've had no DNFs and you've had a good season. I think, even if you're in a car that's maybe not fighting for it all, 37 car has to feel good
That
about that stat. I think.
Yeah, I was gonna say the reason why I had a feeling that they were one of them is I saw some stat on them that they've finished in the top 10 or something in every single race this season. Which like we have seen generally speaking like pretty consistent grids in the pilot challenge this
For
year,
sure.
and that's kind of a sign of just consistently going out finishing races, not getting caught up in other people's
Yeah.
accidents, and obviously staying out of trouble yourself. So
Ninth,
I think,
ninth, seventh, ninth, 10th, seventh. Yeah.
yeah,
For
yeah.
sure.
So just staying out of trouble, and that's, I mean, it's both of maybe Ron has raced some TCR races in Pilot Challenge before, but I know this is Megan's first year in the Michelin Pilot Challenge. So
Yeah,
just
and
getting
CTMP is her home track, correct?
correct. Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, she was
Actually,
right. She drove really well. I mean, to be quite honest, she gunned Preston down there at the end. I
yeah.
mean, we had a probably 8-10 second gap on her, and she closed it and passed us. So yeah, I thought she drove really well. Yeah, I mean, I think all of them. Riley Pegram has been getting a lot better this year. I know they're testing a lot. But yeah, I mean, I think all these guys are getting better. I mean, you saw Goo with their second place finish, right?
Yep.
So yeah,
Absolutely.
the 31 car had a great run 2 races ago. I wouldn't be sleeping on them here coming into this one. So yeah, I mean, I think Pilot Challenge is in a really good spot right now.
Yeah, it's good to see, and I mean I know we were talking about it a minute ago, but just seeing the car count, if if the Baker car hadn't had that big accident CTMP, we could be talking about we could very well be talking about a 17 car grid here at Road America, which that's a large grid for at this point of the season, especially what we've seen in some previous years with we'd also have very diverse manufacturer representation, if that were the case too, with Cupra adding that second car in. Sure, we don't have the Alpha anymore, but kind of replacing that with the Cupra, and hopefully getting that consistent 15 plus entries in this class. I'm sure all of you in the paddock would love to see that, but then also from a fan perspective as well, continuing to see that grow, and just continuing to see the Pilot Challenge grow the grid consistently, and put on ultimately some great racing for all of us. So yeah, it's just things you love to see. Just
Yeah.
things you love to see. We didn't have any questions tonight, so I think we're pretty much done. Did you have any closing thoughts about Road America?
Well, I mean, if you live in Wisconsin and like sports car racing, it's an awesome month coming into you for Road America, right? So Grid Life is there this weekend. So if you're going to Grid Life, make sure you go to the Hyundai activation trailer, which is there, and sign up for some hot laps, which I think happen 5 times a day, where
Oh,
you could have Dennis, Mark, or Mason throw you around in a Hyundai Elantra in, and also our Hyundai Elantra in TCR will be there with a passenger seat strapped in. So some lucky people get to be thrown around Road America in the 98 car this weekend. So if you're there, sign up for that. That's a pretty cool opportunity. And see if they'll lift in the kink or not with you in the passenger seat on cold tires. But yeah, no, like I said, for us at BHA, definitely a big weekend for us, right? I've been coming off of our worst weekend of the year, where we finished fifth and we're the best finishing car. Not the weekend we wanted, especially after Bryson put it on pole in the 33 car, and the 98 car was right up there at the sharp end as well, starting the race, and even there going into the last 20 minutes of the race. And us bringing a fifth car. I mean, so a lot of unknowns
true.
for us, but I'm excited about it. One of my former tire changers is coming along, so we get to bring in some new faces, and take on a new challenge. So that'll be exciting for us. But yeah, like I said, this one is definitely one that has I've lost the most sleep over this than any other race I've ever had. So yeah, for sure, redemption on the mind, and but we just want to have a good finish. It's the first time in a while we've gone 2 races in a row without bringing any type of trophy home. So I'd like to get back on the podium for sure, and hopefully leave with the points lead if we can. But yeah, still ton of racing to go. Still a busy summer, right? So we do this one, then go to VIR 3 weeks later, and then I think we go to Indy 3 weeks later after that. So for us doing our Daytona preview episode over 6 months ago now, to only be at round 6, it just you hammer through them here in the summer. And like I said, plenty of times that you win or lose the championship in the summer. We reeled it in last year after CTMP and then lost it right after it. So it's time to finish the job for us. But yeah, I'm excited to get after it. Like I said, I love Road America. What a awesome facility. Great fans, great food, great track.
Yeah.
The best spectator track, in my opinion, if you just want to watch the cars anywhere you go. So yeah,
Yeah.
we're
So many places you can go.
literally the only place where you can see them from every spot on the track, at least one side of the track, and almost
Yes.
90% of it from both sides of the track.
Yep.
So yeah, I mean, Road Atlanta could do what Road America does. Please cut down all those
Yeah.
trees from 1 to 7 and let people go on the other side of the track. Yeah.
Give us a
So
path.
yeah, super excited about it. Ready to get after it. It's only a week away. I'll be there at Thursday night this time next week, and like I said, we'll have the longest day ever on Friday, and then go try to find some hardware on Saturday. Somebody's got to stop Tim Lewis. He can't win 5 in a row. That's just embarrassing. He can't kick our ass like that. We should have had him on as our guest this week, honestly. The king
Yeah,
of Road America.
the Road America Master. Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, excited about it, and see if we can't take the fight back to Honda, who's been handing it to us here the last couple of races.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Yeah, if you're going to be going to Road America, then make sure to drop by the Brian Herta tent. See if you can bug Aaron, although
Get a tent with 20 cars exploding out of it.
yeah, maybe maybe a better day to catch that might be on like early on Saturday morning.
Yeah.
Yeah. Friday will be a busy day. Or if you notice there's a huge gap in the schedule.
Yeah,
But,
to be fair, I think we do have big gaps because it's just such a long
okay.
gap.
Oh yeah,
I think
yeah, that's true.
8 to like 1, and then 1 to 6 or something like that. So yeah.
Yeah, so there you go. You might have a good opportunity on Friday. Bring him a beaver tail if you see a beaver tail stand, which you will not in Wisconsin.
Yeah,
But
and Stu, I haven't said sorry for your loss, but I know you were a big Hulk Hogan guy, so I'm sorry for you lost the Hulkster today.
yeah, huge Hulk Hogan fan. Unfortunately, that's my shtick right there. So
Yeah,
who else did we lose this week? There was
Ozzy
somebody.
Osbourne.
Oh, of course, Ozzy. Yes, I was like, why is this? This is a bigger one. I should know this one.
And then somebody off the Cosby Show. Yeah. Anyway,
Yeah. Anyways, before we go completely off the rails, this is a good point.
Quinn for sure wins comment of the day with that first one that caught me out. So yes, thank you for that one, Quinn.
There you go, Quinn. You win. Yeah. You win comment of the day this week.
Yeah.
With that, though, we're gonna wrap up this Road America preview CTMP recap. We'll be back in a couple weeks, I suppose, for a Road. Probably going to be like 3 weeks for a Road America recap. So keep your eyes peeled.
Gotta be a cheerier recap than last year. It won't be like a funeral. Well, we're gonna deliver something.
Yeah. It's got to be a cheery episode for sure. Otherwise, we're gonna have to bring somebody on to make it a cheery episode if it's not. So
there you go.
Well, you'll hear from us in a couple weeks. Once again, though, thanks for tuning in. And on behalf of Aaron and myself, we'll talk to you in the next one.
We'll see you.